Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels, the podcast where we explore, examine, and elevate the medium of comics across the interwebs. God, it's weird to be the one that has to do this. From me is Phil.
Whoop! Oh, I caught those. I caught those strands. I'm sailing on a web line between buildings, and it feels great. Good morning, Ted. How are you doing?
Well, I thought I was like plastering you to a building, not letting
Oh,
you.
I can't also be Spider-Man in this instance.
Well, you'd have to shoot your own webs to swing on them.
I want to be a Spider-Man who is like a web moocher. He doesn't shoot his own webs.
I see, I
He's
see, I
on a
see.
budget. One of those sorts of things. He's more of a building crawling friendly neighborhood Spider-Man than your web slinging friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Um,
Right. Yeah, whatever.
Somehow this underwhelming premise is not going to be one of the many treasures you can find in the now open Shortbox Comics Fair. It's October. There are hundreds of beautiful,
Yeah, I may
compelling.
have a cart with way too much in it
I,
set
I,
up that I'm
yeah.
I'm trying to convince myself to either pare down or pull the
Oh,
trigger on.
there's too much. There's too much. Look, here's what we should do. I should convene with my wife and say, hey, you know, two, three, and then like at the very least, we'll figure out
Yeah,
a,
no,
a
I mean
share.
yeah, definitely if you wind up getting any, let me know so I can
I
take them
will.
off my list and we'll share.
Yeah, it's tough. It's
I mean,
tough
I
because
feel like we should start fundraising now to
there we go.
like if anybody wants us to buy all of the short box comic fair books next year, become a Patreon. Um, Patreon.com/22 panels podcast. Um, and like send me a note saying save this for short box. This year we could have bought all of the comics for I think 900 something.
I was just getting an exact number on that. I saw that too and was like, wow, damn, that is an impressive number. Um, let's see here. Yeah, it says every single short box comic fair for 995 euros. Or pounds.
Let,
No, pounds, not euros. I forget they still have pounds.
let's see.
But yeah. So, well, okay, so the
Pound to
pound to dollar. There's
dollar.
a decent chance this could go our way.
Um,
Uh, Not
how
quite.
many? 900.
995.
Yeah, so $1,340.96.
And of course, we would then be obligated to talk about all of those
We
comics
would.
in
So,
some kind of marathon 6 hour session.
right. So essentially we need people to put together roughly like a little bit more than $110 a month. But we'll say if $110 a month come to Patreon plugged for Shortbox, I'll make up the difference. But I mean that's got to start now because that's the $110 a month to Patreon for a year to hopefully have enough for next year to buy them all. At which point, I like Phil's idea. If the Patreons pay for us to buy all the short box comics, we are then required to do some sort of marathon covering them all.
Yeah. I mean, that would be it was the kind of thing just looking at covers, yeah, it was the kind of thing where,
Yeah, no,
oh my goodness, sometimes I can be like,
I
okay, hey,
know I have it
here's
on my phone, but will it come up on my I can probably bring it up on my computer too. Google's nice
Mhm.
like that now.
Oh yeah, and
But
there was one of the years where I looked at this because of oh no, it was last year. I don't Ted, you probably know, is this short box comic fair the same as the short box publisher
yes,
that they recently unfortunately had to close down physical publishing,
but
but
they kept their comic fair going and they just
right.
took it online online only, I think starting 3 years ago.
Gotcha. So, well,
Um,
for that one, when someone suggested, "Hey, it's closing. This is the last chance you'll be able to get these physical comics," I kept it to three. This fair this month, there was no easy limit. There was it
Okay,
was
when I pull it up on my computer, I don't have the long list in my cart, and I don't feel like grabbing my
oh,
phone to go through the list in my cart.
that's understandable. I mean, it really
For
is. It's
that
like
matter, it might even be good if I lost the list in my cart and had to go through
had to start
again.
over.
Right.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah, there's lots of really as there is every year,
Oh
there's
yeah.
lots of really good looking comics. For that matter, the um got to remember the title of it. Violent Kitchen's Ignat's winning comic was originally a short box comic.
Oh, okay. First.
Aladinia
Oh,
was originally a short box. I bought it from Short Box Comic Fair last year.
nice.
Um,
I do got to
so
say also that for my current level of caffeination, I heard Violet Kitchen and I was like, oh, don't you think they're stepping on the toes of Kitchen Sink Press? Without realizing that was one person, not some kind of company.
also the daughter of Dennis.
Indeed, yeah. Sometimes I need more coffee too. I'd say most
um,
times.
yeah, so like uh no, she's not stepping on her father's toes. So you can tell your dad, like,
Mhm.
go fuck himself. He had 84.
Wow. Wow. It's funny because
Cubs win.
he was saying that they were wearing the throwback uniforms from when they beat the Cubs of the World Series, just like,
Yeah,
or there were some fans that did that. But
in the playoffs. Yeah, yeah, no, no.
but
He ruined my childhood.
okay. All right, I'm glad that he personally made that ball go between someone's legs. Was
Leon
that the one?
Durham. Yes,
Yep,
yes, yes, yes,
yep.
yes,
He
yes.
personally did that.
He did. He
Yeah,
did. I'm certain.
he's a
So like,
he's a strange and
turnabout's a
powerful man.
bitch.
I
Turnabout's a
will
bitch,
say,
Phil's dad.
I will say, the Padres are in my mind the new Cubs of baseball because they've never won a World Series. They've
Um,
been twice in my dad's lifetime, but never won.
yeah, I mean, like, but they haven't been around long enough to even have the longest streak without winning World Series.
That's fair.
That goes to the Guardians.
Okay. I didn't even know there was a team called the Guardians. This is how closely I follow baseball.
See, Cleveland finally got rid of their racist mascot,
Oh, that's good. We need more teams to do that.
and they're the Guardians now,
Okay.
and they haven't won a World Series since the 50s.
Okay. I mean, they it's a pretty big streak, 70 years.
So like in 2016, it was the two longest streaks in baseball.
I see.
It
So
was the, it was the
hell was
longest
gonna.
longest National League streak up against the longest American League streak, and thankfully the longest streak won.
So what you're telling me is that hell was gonna freeze over either way.
No, that would have been if in 2003, the year that both the Cubs and the Red Sox came five outs from the World Series, if
Mm,
if things had been different and if it hadn't been for the meltdown after the not even really fan interference
hmm
at Wrigley and fucking Aaron Boone at Fenway, like 2003 could have had the Cubs and the Red Sox both on 85 plus years without a World Series victory up against each other.
Yeah, that would have been a heck of a streak breaker if
The
there
the
ever was one.
world would have ended with two outs in the bottom of some extra inning, still tied.
I
Like
mean,
with two outs in the bottom of the 42nd of game seven, tied at one, the world would have ended.
especially because I gotta say, Cubs fans and Red Sox fans are, pretty passionate in their own ways,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I
putting
mean
them
that
up against each other.
I'm both. I
Yeah.
understand. Like that used to be a joke. What
Right.
will happen if the Cubs and Red Sox ever meet in the World Series? And like
You'll tear yourself apart.
in the bottom of the pick an inning,
Hmm.
late extra innings. I always like 42 because the meaning of life, the universe, and everything. So the
Hmm.
bottom of the 42nd inning tied it. Pick a number. We're gonna say one because I like it to be a close game. Bottom of the 42nd inning, tied at one. The world will just end.
What what is the longest game, like the most innings? What is the highest inning count game you've ever
I
seen?
think for a major league game, it's 28, and for
Okay.
for a minor league game, it's 30 something.
Wow.
So I mean, to me, that always had to be part of it was
Hmm.
that yeah, 33 in 1981 for the Pawtucket Red Sox versus the Rochester Red Wings in the
Wow.
minor leagues.
Hmm.
And major leagues, I'm pretty certain it was
Oh,
White
wow.
Sox.
I'm seeing that 33 inning game lasted 8.5 hours.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Pretty certain the longest major league game was um 26 or 28. And I want to say it was the White Sox and yeah, White Sox and Brewers. 26. And it looks like it's happened twice because it also happened with the Brooklyn Robins before they became the Dodgers and the Boston Braves in 1920.
Wow.
Um, oh, I guess the White Sox and Brewers only went 25 innings. So they're second. What's crazy about that one is that Carlton Fisk, the catcher for the White Sox, caught all 25 innings.
Hmm. I'm sure he gets that stamina from the Fisk family line. I hear they've got some real thick guys going on there.
Yeah, no idea, but
You don't know
like
Wilson?
I do.
Tad
Um,
hasn't had his coffee, but I have. Can you tell?
but uh but yeah, no, think about that. 25 innings
Yeah.
of going out and crouching.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, his knees must have been on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. So, like, because this is how the world works, any week where there's happy Cubs news is otherwise a terrible week. They win the World Series, and 4 days later, we have Donald Trump as the president-elect.
Hmm.
Um, they let's just like I pulled up Heather Cox Richard. Do you know Heather Cox Richardson?
Not off the top of my head, no.
You should reach out Heather Cox Richardson. She's a
Hmm.
fantastic historian. Um and like since like 2016, she's been putting together an almost daily newsletter just to have an account for future historians to go back and look through. And
Sounds
uh,
invaluable.
it is. And like this morning's, or I guess technically yesterday's, but it generally comes, it's been more and more coming out after midnight because that's how long it takes for her to like be on top of everything.
Oh goodness.
And she has to take days off from time to time, and I kind of wish she took more sometimes. Um, God bless her for all that she does.
Hmm.
Uh, but like you noticed that he hadn't appeared in public because that was at the top of the since
Hmm.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so what we have going on, the Republican Party is putting up like AI videos about
Oof.
Russell
Yeah.
Vogt being the Reaper to Blue Oyster Don't Fear the Reaper. Um, Meanwhile, veterans of U.S. national security are noticing that this is the opposite of what we expect in a healthy democracy.
Hmm.
Um, which should be reminded that Russell Vogt is not an elected official. Neither was Elon Doge. The first uh, like investigation into Doge um, produced some findings this week, and essentially,
Mm.
like, what they said is didn't save any money, didn't did like possibly cost money, but also uh, created unprecedented privacy and cybersecurity risks. Um, uh, they did manage to create an accessible database of pretty much all of the private information like the government has. Um,
Hate that.
Meanwhile, like so Tuesday, everybody noticed like the unhinged just talk to the generals, which like thank God they followed military rules and were just silent for even as Trump like threatened them.
Uh,
And Hegseth was
and
just deranged.
hmm
But like, and then we shut down the government, of course, at midnight.
hmm
And just before shutting down the government, however, um, I want to say it was ICE, the FBI, and the ATF,
mm.
more than 300 agents, staged a full-on raid on an apartment building in downtown Chicago at 8 at 10 p.m. Like Apache helicopters, people were rappelling down to the roof,
Wow.
like full on Michael Bay shit,
Yeah.
right? And cleared out the entire building, kicked doors down, kicked whatever for 37 whole arrests, though
Mm.
no evidence has been provided about they're saying, oh, gangs, drugs, but no evidence has been provided, no warrants have been provided. Children were marched out of the building in zip ties.
Ugh.
Reportedly, the black people were put in one rental van while the Hispanic people were put in another rental van.
Jeez.
Um, and like whatever Kavanaugh says about like, oh, if they're residents, then they'll just have to answer a couple of questions and then they'll be able to go
God.
on their way. Reportedly, like U.S. citizens were in zip ties outside in their pajamas, if anything at all.
Hmm.
Some were marched out naked.
Mm.
Um, for as many as 5 hours before being released.
That's
Uh,
that is
Then
awful.
again, at least 37 haven't been released at all.
Right.
Though it hasn't actually been said. So this is the kind of week that it's been.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, uh, the judge in Nashville, Waverly Crenshaw, rebuked the Justice Department and its top officials for prosecuting Kilmar Abrego Garcia. And there seems to be um, some indication that a vindictive lawsuit um, charge could be brought against the that's the sort of thing that's like incredibly hard to win. So like a vindictive prosecution motion. Um,
Hmm.
Incredibly hard to win, but the fact that the court is even considering it, according to the New York Times, is highly embarrassing blow they say the Trump administration, Trump
Hope so.
administration doesn't get embarrassed, but to whatever lawyers are actually involved. I mean,
Hmm.
I like sometimes people are like, how can anybody still be backing him? When it comes to the people who are actually involved, who are actually doing things, they
Hmm.
can't not back him.
Right.
At this point, they are so all in that their careers are over.
Yeah. If they turn on him, they're
Right.
dead. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they might be dead, but
Yeah.
like,
Metaphorically or
but
literally.
like, if fascism doesn't win and hold for their lifetime, they will
Jeez.
be held accountable, or at the very least, will be unemployable.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah. And that's where I just want to take a second and say like that hearing three federal government agencies raiding an apartment building in Chicago.
at
That's
10 p.m.
at
without
10 p.m.
any warrants,
Yeah,
without
all of this. It's horrifying. It's
yeah,
absolutely horrifying.
yeah,
And
yeah.
to me, there's no amount. Like, first of all, I don't believe the administration when they say they're going after any excuse to harass citizens at this point.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't believe them. Even if I did, I don't think that gang and drug activity is worth a trifecta of federal aid. Like that's just mind blowing
I don't think it's worth like non-due
misappropriation of resources.
process.
That too, it's huge. Yes, people have rights.
Speaking of non-due process, we blew up another speedboat outside of
Fuck.
Venezuela.
Oh my God.
Um,
The fact that that's happened more than once, that's been
I, I,
happening is,
I think that's four now, maybe five.
geez, that's
Apparently
appalling.
Stephen Miller is directing the strikes, another unelected
Mm.
um, official. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't even care about that one.
Hmm.
I mean, this would be huge news if it was not this week or so. Well, let's actually let's jump
Okay.
in.
Yeah.
The Homeland Security put up a video that shows a bar with words in front that mimics that of early video games, saying "Life after all criminal aliens are deported."
Mm.
Behind the bar runs a series of images of the United States in the late 60s, 70s, and early 80s. It shows Trump himself as a young man and what
Ugh.
appears to be the Trump Tower in New York City in the 1980s. Nostalgic hope for reclaiming Trump's glory days has tucked within it the McDonald's Mac Tonight moon image, an image used by white supremacists.
Wow.
Um,
I didn't know about that white supremacist McDonald's image, but it's a
I didn't either, but I trust
oh
Heather.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm
Um,
just saying that's another reason to stay away from McDonald's.
and this is well, I don't they haven't used the Mac the Night in a long time. So
I
it's
haven't
been,
had
I mean, I
McDonald's in a
stay
couple
away from
years.
McDonald's
Yeah.
too for
It's
any number of reasons,
hmm
but like that's not necessarily a fair plug it on them.
that's
I mean,
okay.
it's
I
reappropriation of
look
their image after they have used it.
here's the thing. I haven't had McDonald's in like 2 years now, and I still get Big Mac cravings. So I am literally
Right.
grasping at straws. Any excuse I have to stay away
That's
from
fair.
them.
That's fair. So, and this is, I love Heather's way of writing sometimes. The world depicted in that video reflects the period before Trump met convicted sex offender Jeffrey
Oh,
Epstein. But that story is not going away. The
yeah.
House of Representatives was supposed to be back in session on Monday, but House Speaker Mike Johnson has sent members home until October 14th.
Hmm.
Representative Shelley Pingree noted today that Johnson appears to be delaying the swearing in of newly elected Arizona Representative Adelita Grijalva, a Democrat. Grijalva says she will sign the discharge petition that will require the Speaker to bring to the House floor a vote on instructing the Department of Justice to release the files from the investigation into Epstein's actions, which needs only one more signature to force the vote. Regarding Johnson's declaration that the House will take another week away from the Capitol rather than coming back to negotiate a way to end the government shutdown and preserve Americans' access to health care, Pingree asked, is this about the shutdown or is this about the Epstein files?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're shutting down the government and then attempting to blame Democrats is also pretty uh
Well, particularly because, like, as with the last time they shut down the government,
mhm,
they don't need Democratic votes to
exactly.
open it.
Exactly.
Like everybody forgets that about the 35-day shutdown in
Hmm.
and the longest shutdown ever in Trump's like they could have nuked the filibuster and just opened on their own.
Hmm.
His own party killed his damn border wall.
Hmm. Yeah,
There's no
there's
point that they needed Democrats for that.
oh yeah.
Um, yeah.
They what they really need is a scapegoat. And it's clear that they found it and they're
Well,
going to
no,
continue.
it's pretty clear that they've never found it. I
No,
mean,
I just
I'm
mean
not I'm not big on the who to blame, and this is one that I actually
mhm,
think that the Democrats are better off like not pointing fingers as much as saying you're damn right we let it get shut down
mhm.
because the
Doing more
option
harm than good.
is we don't fight for your health care.
Yeah.
Um, but but all polling data says that like by a 17-point margin, the American people are blaming the Republicans for the shutdown.
Well, that's good.
So
At least, you know.
so uh yeah, that's the world we live in, Phil.
Yeah, it's pretty it's it's not great.
I
It
I drive by Great Lakes every day,
Great
where
Lakes. Oh,
Naval Base, which is where they stage ice out of in
oh
Chicago.
God. Wow.
Um, yeah,
There's
yeah, yeah. Anyway, let's talk some new to order comics because there's some
a lot
cool
of good
stuff.
ones coming up.
There's some cool stuff. Christopher Cantwell and Alex Linz are getting to come back and conclude Briar Rose's journey in Briar Knight's Terror #1. From Boom Entertainment, Briar Rose and Spider finally share a moment of romantic bliss in the village of High Scrape, but the final challenge still awaits. The gang must navigate the perilous Falsewitch traps, the last barrier to reach Grendid's lair. And though the journey is treacherous, what awaits is even more so. With one last spell will, to revive Grendrid to the height of her powers, will our heroes be prepared for the ultimate showdown? This is out from Boom Comics on December 3rd. Very much looking forward to this.
All right, next up we have Carmen Redclaw, Belly of the Beast #1 from Ray Allen, Mike Mignola. Um, this is supernatural gun for hire and shape-shifting descendant of the notorious El Bagavante. Carmen Redclaw faces a new type of monster when investigating supposedly cursed ranch land. Something is killing the cattle in the area, but Carmen has to find out if it's really a beast to blame or if humans are the real monsters here. That is from Dark Horse in stores January 7th.
The new Space Age from Kenny Porter and Mike Becker, disgraced astronaut Mark Mitchell has only ever had one true mission to find his little brother Joey, who was abducted by aliens from a crop circle when they were little. But when Mark's shot or hot shot, uh,
Mm.
uh, they skipped a space there. When Mark's hot
Um,
shot piloting gets him grounded and the last of the public space program defunded, Mark loses his only means of finding Joey out in space. Until Mark's homemade scanning rig discovers the shocking truth about the crop circles, their instructions for space travel. Mark will need to uncover the hidden messages that have been left on Earth for years and reverse engineer the magic that can finally help him find Joey. This is out from Mad Cave on December 17th.
All right. Next up is Wrestle Heist from Carl Starks, a former
Kyle.
Kyle. Did I say Carl? I did say Carl. I'm so sorry. Kyle Starks, a former pro wrestler who has a brush with death thanks to a crooked promoter, assembles a crew of fellow wrestlers he's screwed over to rob him blind from the biggest wrestling event during the biggest wrestling event of the year. From outrageous action-packed mind of multi-time Eisner nominee Kyle Starks, with eye-popping colors by Vladimir Popov, comes a no-holds-barred heist caper packed with body slams and backstabs. In stores December 17th from Image Comics.
Some graphic novels. Charlie, the funniest man in the world, Charles Chaplin, by Seymour Schwast and Stephen Brower. Charles Chaplin, the funniest man in the world, is a light-hearted comic biography of one of the most important cultural figures of the 20th century, suitable for young readers and adults and lovers of early comedians and films everywhere. Chaplin and his persona of the Little Tramp was a celebrity known around the world, humorously illustrated by legendary designer Seymour Schwast of Pushpin Studios fame, with text based on Chaplin's own words by Stephen Brower, told in the first person. Charlie celebrates the life and films of the multi-talented actor, writer, director, and film score composer. Chaplin's film portfolio is wittily portrayed throughout, reflecting the subject's whimsical approach to filmmaking. This will be in stores on December 3rd.
Oh yeah, the art there looks absolutely charming.
Yeah.
All right, next up, The Dragons of Paris from Joanne Sfar and Tony Sandoval. What if dragons invaded Paris during the Belle Epoque? Writer Joanne Sfar and illustrator Tony Sandoval weave their imaginations into a canvas of adventures, battles, sacrifices, love, and humor. A folkloric, playful, and liberating journey told in breathtaking epic beauty. Paris, 1900. For thousands of years, dragons have lived hidden from everyone, sealed in statues and gargoyles throughout the city. Legend has it that only the sacrifice of a being of great magic can protect Paris from their wrath and maintain their slumber. But when a roguish Hawaiian princess rescues a mermaid from suspicious danger, the malevolent shadow of dragons grows once again over the City of Lights. From the catacombs to the Pravi of Notre Dame, a romance is born under the awakening of a thousand-year-old evil. In stores December 3rd from Oni, or no,
Magnetic and Oni. Magnetic.
Magnetic and Oni. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
gotcha. I thought it was going to be Oni, but okay, I was half right.
Yeah. The Exile by Eric Creek. 223 Mocha Arts Fest Award of Excellence recipient after 7 years of exile. Battle-hardened Holstein Thordsson returns home to Iceland only to find that old wounds haven't healed. His stepmother, Solveig, and his half-brother, Ottar, are besieged by wood thieves directed by her unwelcome suitor, Einar. The exile's presence disrupts the delicate balance and threatens to tip all of Iceland into violence. A remarkable decades-spanning epic, Eric Creek's The Exile is equal parts action, Western, and family drama, with a surprising story of violence and consequences at its core. Told in a naturalistic modern style, but with tremendous fidelity to the historical period in which it is set, The Exile depicts the Viking Age in all its conflict, turmoil, and social structure, with every detail depicted vividly on the page. Hailing from the Netherlands, Creek is an internationally decorated illustrator known for his work on In the Pines and Gutsman, lushly told with gorgeous, traditionally drawn brushwork and a limited palette illustration style reminiscent of the great three-color illustrators of the 40s and 50s. Creek's art is alternately breezy and gritty, but always stunning, whether he's depicting a full-blown Viking battle or a wearying sea voyage. From Uncivilized Books. This will be out on December 10th. I'm gonna be at the Pretty Good Fest, Comics and Beans Zine Fest in Chicago later today. Uncivilized will be
Ooh,
there. I'm
ooh.
kind of curious as to whether Tom will already have copies of this.
Heck yeah, I was gonna say that looks and sounds absolutely stunning. I was gonna say, I'm sure one of my mutuals on Blue Sky, Jess Nevins, would love to read that because I know he's developing a Viking Age role playing game and is a Viking scholar.
Uncivilized Books just puts out ridiculously well
Oh
curated
yeah,
stuff.
I think every solicit that I've read from them have been like, damn, it sounds really good. I got to read that. Um, Next up, we've got Stray Volume 1. Not the Stray series with cats, a different one, from Ryo Kamio and Yu Nakahara. From the hit creators of Last Inning, follow an ex-convict's path to redemption riddled with vengeance, betrayal, and deadly conspiracies. The stakes are too high for him to strike out off the pitch. After serving 9 years for a crime he didn't commit, Hachiya Ken is free, but his past is far from behind him. Released from prison, he's confronted by Hannah, the fiery daughter of a ghost from his past. Together, they're forced to navigate a deadly web of betrayal, Yakuza power, and political corruption. In stores December 3rd from, is this Titan?
Yeah, Titan.
Yeah. Okay, from Titan.
Some collections. Fire and Ice Hell Freezes Over. Of course, I gotta go through. There we go. From Joanne Starr and Stephen Byrne. Opposites attract chaos when fire and ice find themselves swapping powers and spiraling into an all-new disaster. Fire and ice are back in action, just not how they planned. After briefly reclaiming their Justice League status during Absolute Power, the duo is left dealing with an unexpected side effect. Fire now wields ice, and ice bursts into flames. With no solution in sight, they retreat to Smallville, hoping for a quiet reset. But when a magical mishap turns their predicament from bad to worse, their small town sanctuary becomes the epicenter of another catastrophe. Can these best friends fix their powers before they burn or freeze everything to the ground? Joanne Starr and Stephen Byrne bring heart, humor, and high stakes hijinks into this must read adventure. This is from DC Comics and it's out on January 27th. I love what Joanne Starr has done with Fire and Ice. They have been both of the series have been just
I should
fantastically
definitely
fun.
check that out at some
Fantastically
point. It
fun.
it sounds it sounds absolutely delightful.
Yeah. This one's really good too.
Ooh, very nice. This is The Pale Knight from Peter Milligan and Val Rodriguez, England, 1349. Sir Hugh de Grey, the Pale Knight, returns from war to find a land ravaged by the Black Death and his son dying of the plague. When he prays to God to save his son's life, it is not God who answers, but Death himself, and Death is willing to cut a deal. The Pale Knight is a horrifying descent into phantasmagorical hell. In stores December 24th from Mad Cave.
All right, new to order this month, starting with new comic series.
We have Aggie, a one shot from Mark Russell, ACO AWA, December 17th.
Barbaric, The Long Death, #1 from Michael Morisi and Nathan Gooden at Vault Comics on December 3rd.
Black Panther Intergalactic #1 from Victor Lavelle, Stefano Nessi, Marvel Comics, December 17th.
Briar, Knight's Terror #1, finally finishing up the series the way he wanted to. Christopher Cantwell and Alex Lins at Boom on December 3rd.
Carmen Redclaw, Belly of the Beast #1. Ray Allen, Mike Mignola, Dark Horse, January 7th.
Donald Duck, #1, The Golden Pineapple from Gorm Transgard, Peter Snaberg, Joe Torsiva, Thad Komorowski, Giorgio Cavazzano, and Marco Rota at Fantagraphics on December 10th.
Drumsticks of Doom #1. John Westhoff, Dan Doherty, Part-Time Comics, December 3rd.
Giant Size Criminal, #1 from Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips at Image on December 3rd.
Habitat #1 from Joshua Dysart, David Lapham, Bill Sienkiewicz, Bad Idea, December 10th.
New Space Age from Kenny Porter and Mike Becker at Mad Cave on December 17th.
Our Soot Stained Heart #1. Joni Haig, Stipian Morian, Mad Cave, December 10th.
Shiver Suspense Stories Volume 2, Issue 2, Something 2, another one shot from E.C. Oni, from David Bohr, Melissa Flores, George Northey, Ben H. Winters, Sammy Cavella, Dan McDade, and more coming on December 10th.
Trigger Warning, A Strangers in Paradise story. One shot from Terry Moore, Abstract Studio, December 3rd.
And Kyle Starks returns with Wrestle Heist #1 from Image Comics on December 17th. Phil, how about the graphic novels in the new catalog?
Kicking it off, we've got All the Living from Roman Muradov, Fantagraphics, December 3rd.
Calamity Before Jane from Noah Van Sciver at Toon Books on December 23rd.
Charles Chaplin, The Funniest Man in the World, Seymour Chwast, Steve Brower, Fantagraphics, December 3rd.
The Dragons of Paris from Joanne Sfar and Tony Sandoval from Oni Magnetic on December 3rd.
The Exile, Eric Keek, Uncivilized, December 10th.
The Final Symphony, a Beethoven anthology from Brandon Montclair, Frank Marafino, Jarrett Williams, Dave Chisholm, Louisa Russo, Alice Mackey Lee, Shane White, Ryan Kelly, Leanda Kangas, and more from Z2 on December 10th.
The Magnificent Adventure, The Perils of Giuseppe Bergman, Milo Manera, Fantagraphics, December 3rd.
Mansect from Koga Shinichi at Uncivilized on December 10th.
Mid-State, Volume 1, from Lee Louridge, Mark Chatter, Mad Cave, December 17th.
Queen Kodiak from Christopher Greenslate and Riccardo Ficini at Maverick Mad Cave on December 10th.
Stray, Volume 1, from Ryu Kamio, Yu Nakahara, Titan, December 3rd.
UFO Mushroom Invasion from Shirakawa Marini at Uncivilized Books on December 10th.
And finally, we have Rack and Rune from Chris Capel, Alex Ar, Arizmendi, Maverick Mad Cave, December 3rd.
And some collections, Phil. What do we got this month?
We've got the Blood Brothers Mother, Brian Azzarello, Eduardo Riso, Distillery, January 20th.
Lou Palo Verde from Ray Fox and Ramonti at Mad Cave on December 3rd.
Dogmatics and the Indomitables, 3-in-1, Volume 1, Yves Colon, Matthew Choquette, Jerome Erbin, Hervé Benedetti, Nicholas Robin, Michael Colon, Simon Lecoq, Oliver Serrano, Maureen Lachinaud, Philippe Fenesh, Jean Bastiem, David Etienne, from Papercuts, December 7th. I'm so sorry for all those names.
You don't speak French? What?
Oh,
Fire
not
and
enough.
Ice When Hell Freezes Over from Joanne Sterer and Stephen Byrne at DC Comics on January 27th.
Far Down Below from friends of the show, Chris Condon and JJ Shaw, Mad Cave, December 24th.
The Future Is Volume 1, Black Mountain from Fred Van Lente, Ennio Buffi, and Mario D'Alessandro from Recca on December 10th.
Groupies from Helen Mullane and Tula Lotte at Mad Cave, December
Helen
17th.
Milan and Tula Lotte.
Milan and Lotte. Milan and Lotte. Thank you.
Helen of Windhorn Deluxe Edition from Tom King and Bilkis Evely from Dark Horse on February 24th.
Crypto, The Last Dog of Krypton from Ryan North, Mike Norton, DC, February 10th.
I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer from Doug Wagner and Daniel Hillard and Michelle Madsen Image Comics on December 3rd.
The Pale Knight from Peter Milligan, Val Rodriguez, Mad Cave, December 24th.
The Smythes by Ray Irvin, edited by R. Kikwo Johnson and Dash Shaw, with an introduction from Caitlin McGurk on New York Review Comics on December 9th.
This Ends Tonight from Jerry Dugan, Robert Wyndham, Kelvin Mao, Jay Lee, June Chung, Image Comics, December 24th.
Resurrection Man Quantum Karma from Ram V and Anand RK at DC Comics on January 20th.
Tarna from Alex DeCampi, Esau and Isaac Escorez, Carlos Cabrera, Heavy Metal, December 10th.
You'll Do Bad Things from Tyler Boss and Adriano Turtolucci at Image Comics on December 10th. Alrighty.
Yeah, I'm
Final
gonna have
order
to.
cutoff this week, Monday, October 13th. For Globetrotters, Nellie Bly and Elizabeth Byland's World Tour from Julian Village and Julie Rochelot from Abrams, out November 5th. Harley and Ivy, Life and Crimes #1 from Erica Henderson at DC Comics, out November 5th. Huge Detective, such a good book. The collection from Adam Rose, Magenta King, and Dalton, out from Titan Comics on November 5th. I Am Their Silence by Jordi Lefebvre, out from Dark Horse on January 20th. John Le Carré's The Circus, Losing Control #1 from Matt Kent and Ibrahim Mustafa, out from Dark Horse on November 19th. And Mickey Mouse, The Phantom Blots, Double Revenge #1 from Andrea Castellan, Ted Osborne, Simone Cio Albrigi, Joe Torquivia, Roberto Avian, Floyd Gottfredson, and Stefano Intini, out from Fantagraphics on November 19th. Uh, you're laughing because
I am laughing.
I
Yeah,
had to
yeah.
change it on the fly.
Change on the fly. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It was
Still crowdfunding right now. We have the Zach Quaintance and Anna Redmond's Macabre Valley. Go back and listen to our interview with Zach.
we had a
Like
lot of fun. It was a good
I
interview.
hate to take away from Zach here, but I should have also said go back and listen to the talk with Adam Rose and Magenta King on Huge Detective.
Ooh.
Um, like because we've talked to Adam twice and Magenta once with Adam. Um, Comic Shop Anthology, Lifeline Comics on Kickstarter through October 23rd. Dracula Book 3, The Count from Matt Wagner and Kelly Jones on Kickstarter through October 30th. Feeling Messed Up from David F. Walker on Kickstarter through October 30th. Our Long National Nightmare from political cartoonist Tom Tomorrow on Kickstarter through October 30th. Lots of books that I'm going to have to pay for during the last couple of days in October.
Whew.
The Dead and the
Well,
Damned #3 from Sebastian Gerner and Kelly Williams from Goats Flying Press on Kickstarter until October 31st. And the Comics Courier issue #3 from Tiffany Babb on Kickstarter through November 1st.
the dangerous game of Kickstarter, pledge now, happy now when you pledge and sad later when
Yeah,
you pay.
yeah. Particularly when they all come together. So yeah, some amazing books this week. They're all terrible. #1 and 2. Like it says it's reprinting it, but like
Mhm.
I keep meaning to look this up. I don't remember this ever coming out
I I remember
before.
hearing about it coming out before because I follow Ramon and so I'd seen art of it and whatnot. It was a while ago. There's a pretty big gap between when
Okay, I
issues one and
guess
two came
okay,
out to
okay,
right now.
okay. No, I'm
Yeah.
seeing this now. It was the second round of Bad Idea books I didn't do because the Bad
Mm.
Idea shop that I was going to
Uh-huh.
um had stopped carrying Bad Idea.
Oh, so you missed it.
Um yeah.
Dang.
But issue 1 and 2 came out
Hmm.
yesterday because they're finally gonna continue.
Yesterday?
Well, not yesterday.
Sorry.
I bought it yesterday because my store didn't actually have it,
Oh, wow.
but Viva um has Bad Idea digital comics.
Okay. There you go.
So I bought it yesterday and read it this morning.
It was good.
Uh
I picked it up
yeah,
too.
yeah, it was very, very, very good. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes because my God, was there a fantastic twist at the end.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I
It really was. I
mean,
gotta
it
say,
wasn't completely shocking given the
no.
title of the book,
I still didn't quite see it coming though.
but it was shocking enough, particularly with like all of them. Yeah, it looks like it came out originally in 2022 from
Yeah.
Bad Idea, but they only got the first two out. So
Yep.
they re-released the first two with 3 and 4 coming out going forward. All
I mean,
right.
I think that's a pretty good strategy,
It is.
especially
Totally
for
is.
yeah. I mean, it's a great way to, be like a primer of like, hey, especially because like I know that Ramon is he works traditionally. So like
Right.
all of that art, he does all the stippling. It's so packed with detail, absolutely ridiculous pages that are gorgeous and like it takes time. And I
Yeah.
respect that. And that's why I'm glad that from what I've heard, it sounds like he's pretty happy with Bad Idea. I think I remember hearing that he might have his own book.
I
Hopefully he might get to do that
yeah,
after this.
I'm pretty certain that everybody I've talked to that's worked for Bad Idea has been happy with working for Bad Idea.
That's
Uh,
nice.
they pay on time, they pay well, they don't rush you.
All of these things make for a solid, strong comics publisher. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, that was amazing. Um,
Tad is now going down the rabbit hole of
I,
looking.
I am and frustrated because like I hate it when it doesn't keep me signed in to League of Comic Geeks because I have
Mm,
my paid. Oh, he contributed to the Cobra fanzine.
that sounds likely. I mean, he had a
I
podcast for a
bought
little
the Cobra
while.
fanzine from Mikhail
Oh,
Fife
that's awesome. But yeah, he interviewed
at
Mikkel Fife
at
and had him on an episode of his podcast, Mex Fun Tayo.
at this is kind of I hadn't flipped through it yet. This is kind of a who's who of various people
I'm seeing a lot of
involved in the
cool
fan
names.
scene.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
This is making me realize I need to go catch up and finish Copra
Yeah, no,
because
I need to
yeah,
too. I need to
yeah.
too. I did have a nice conversation with Mike Fife, Mike Fife
Mhm.
at at CXC, and hopefully we
Oh,
will have him on at
that'd be
some
cool.
point.
That'd be pretty
Uh,
dang cool.
Also amazing this week was Kaya number 30 from West Craig. Kind of wraps up a chapter, and I think is going to represent a pretty major inflection point in the series. Um, and Matt Fraction uh, continues to deliver on Batman. as much as it frustrates me that I must buy Batman. The book that everybody buys, the book that me saying it's
Hmm.
great will move the sales not one iota. I mean, even if everybody listening to my voice bought a copy of Batman, it would increase the sales by less than a fraction of 1%.
Haha.
Whereas with like Kaya, if everybody listening bought a voice bought a copy,
That'd
pretty
probably help.
certain pretty certain Kaya sells in like the 5,000 range. So like 30 new subscribers would be a big
Yeah.
deal.
I mean, yeah, that honestly, 5,000 for issue 30, that sounds like a pretty healthy level for an indie series, I'd hope.
I think and that's why I'm guessing 5,000. I get the impression that it's at a healthy level, but not like a massively profitable level.
Mm.
I have a feeling that like Kaya is keeping Wes's name out there and not losing money,
Hmm.
and that he's making his living selling original Kaya art and commissions, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
You
Yeah.
know. Um, so yeah. So take us on a walk, Phil.
Alrighty. I'm walking here. This is the week that Good Devils Don't Play Fair with Evil one shot from Nick Dragata and David Brothers from Image Comics came out that unfortunately I didn't get to pick up because I had forgotten to pre-order it from my shop. They didn't have
I
a
did. It
copy,
was
but
good, though I was a little bit disappointed that it was actually reprints, not new stories, and I don't think I picked that up
ooh,
before.
interesting.
Including
Okay.
one from the Shortbox Comic Fair in 2023.
Very excited. Well, I don't think
But
I've
but
read.
half of it I'd read before because it was backup stories in Newburn.
Gotcha. So it's all going to be new for me. So that's going to be
Right.
exciting. But the good news is that when I asked my shop, they were still able to get still able to get more copies in. They ordered several more. In hindsight, I should have egged them on to order even more. I should have said, "Hey, how many Absolute Batmans do you sell in a month? You know that you could probably get at least half of those." Um, Next, there was, but so then since I didn't pick that up, I grabbed issue one of The Author Immortal from Frank Barbary and Morgan Beam. That was really good. That was very exciting. The premise sounded super, super interesting before. So it was a nice little pick me up. And of course, I also got They're All Terrible, which was very fun, very exciting. Looking forward to the rest of that miniseries. And then lastly, I just wanted to plug and say, hey, Joss Stone is an incredible comics artist, comics person. They do the Art of Comics podcast where they do deep dives, talks on books that are really great. They actually created the nebulous identity flag with the palette based on the pillars of creation for a different flavor of they them that I find really charming and wonderful. And they're going through a hard time right now. So if you've heard of them and want to find an excuse to support them, please do on Patreon or Ko-fi, anything that
It actually looks like it needs to be on Ko-fi because they're having Patreon issues.
oh no. I didn't
Um,
quite read that far into it. I just like I saw, oh, Jaws needs help. Let's help Jaws. But no, that's
yeah,
a
no, that
damn
they
shame.
they they deleted their gallery on Patreon because they
Oh
got
goodness.
flagged with an adult content marker.
Oh my God.
But Patreon wasn't willing to tell them like why.
I mean, I imagine it was for some kind of, you know, slightly erotic art, which, you know,
Well, but it sounds like
Patreon,
they
what the
had
hell are you for?
it looks like they had separate accounts because
Oh, that's even more appalling then. Like,
yeah,
what the hell?
I'm looking at their safe for work one.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh my gosh, mm, that is a
and they
damn
give no
shame.
indication of which posts they specifically refer to. No opportunity
Wow.
to remove the offending drawings. So the only place that they're active as of now is on Blue Sky.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. And I've seen a couple of people have this sort of thing going on with Patreon, which is kind of a
Yeah.
pain in the neck.
I'd heard of it happening to others before, for sure. But yeah,
They're
it's a
not they're not as transparent as they should be, it sounds like, and
yeah,
it also kind of looks like
it's a
they've
jerk
handed
move, Patreon.
they've kind of looks like they've handed some of their customer service over to AI.
Boo.
Um,
I want to talk to people. AI has not been able to help me over the phone with anything. Every time my
right.
wife my wife's tactic is to just say as calmly as possible, speak to a representative, speak to a
Yep.
representative, speak
Oh
to
yeah.
a representative.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I get it. That's the type of thing that I do too.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Not that a lot of people have followed our Patreon yet. Patreon.com/22 panels podcast. Um, thanks, Mom. Thanks, Adam. It
I was gonna
actually,
say, is Adam a Short Box Comics Fair fan? Could we turn him on to Short Box Comics Fair?
I mean, Adam's my little brother, and
Right.
I don't know if he's got like the funding, but we could.
You
Adam, you should definitely check out Shortbox Comics Fair.
you know
You
who I
could
was
probably
really
find some digital
thinking
comics that you'd like.
is Andy. Andy should check out Short Box Comics Fair.
Andy should totally check out.
Yes.
Andy, Patreon stopped taking his money, and he could never
Oh,
figure it out why, so he started sending it to us directly.
well, what a mensch.
So like Patreon doesn't get their cut because
Hey,
they stopped yeah.
I like the sound of those supporters, you know. Give us an excuse to cut out another middleman.
Right. So yeah. Yeah, yeah. So support Jaws on Ko-Fi.
Yes, support Jaws on Ko-Fi, please.
Um
Ted,
yeah.
I hear this week you got back to One Piece.
I did. I read another volume and it was good.
Yeah.
And
How's the development? Are
uh
things
uh
escalating?
we finished up our backstory with Luffy and Ace.
Hmm.
Um, and now the band's getting back together, and Luffy may or may not have declared the uh new era of pirates.
Mm.
So uh
All
serious
right.
turning point. I
This
feel like
this
we just
is
talked about serious turning points for other things too.
Oh
Kaya.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a time to turn. Not that it was a new volume of One Piece, but no, this is a little teaser just for you, and also plug if anyone hasn't listened to our Die Actual Play, 22 Panels No More. Um, I'm really proud of it. I think our most recent episode especially was a great jumping on point because we welcomed in a new player, recapped a bunch of stuff, and a little teaser because next weekend we are playing again. There might be some piracy. There might be some pirates
Uh,
coming, you know. It's
okay. Okay.
you
I
know,
dig pirates.
I would be shocked. Anyone who doesn't dig pirates is kind of a wait, what's wrong with you? Why not? Um, pirates are fun. Who
Well,
hurt you?
on one hand, like we really shouldn't dig pirates because
Sorry.
like they
Fictional
tend to
pirates
be
are fun.
really horrible individuals.
Fictional pirates are a good old time. Real life pirates, please no.
It's one of those crazy places where what's the word I'm looking for, really horrible people
Yeah.
manage to have fantastic legends and storytelling come up around them anyway.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I mean, I'm struggling to think of a historical adventuring archetype that doesn't have a dirty truth behind them, you know?
I mean, like the closest you get is like uh, Butch Cassidy does tend to have like gone out of his way not to kill people, but he
Really
was still a bank
still an outlaw.
robber, and it's not clear that he didn't kill people. He
Ah,
just, like the scene in the movie where they used too much dynamite on the car. I mean, that
hmm
happened, but they also like very much separated it from the rest of the train before they did it.
okay.
You know,
So he wasn't a complete monster, is what you're telling me.
yeah, like, but like, by contrast, Jesse James is like 1,000 times worse than he's normally portrayed.
I'm sure. I am absolutely sure. Holy shit, you know.
Uh, uh,
Um,
Jesse James was literally the South will ride again.
oof,
He was
oof.
part of, I forget what there was a group of Missouri, I forget what they called themselves, but like they're a particularly gruesome group of Missouri, we'll call it a militia, sure, why not? That like terrorized the region for years after the war ended. Um, Kind of a precursor to the Ku Klux Klan, and with much
Hmm.
more willingness to like open slaughter. Um, yeah, that's where Jesse James like made his name, and then was Billy the Kid. Like the Young Guns movies actually like capture the story in some ways better than a lot. um, Except for the fact that they kind of like lionize the kid.
Hmm.
Um, like he might have been on the righteous side of a really bad turf war, but like that's the best part that you can say about him. He was certainly a shoot first, ask questions later. There is evidence that Doc Holliday shot somebody for snoring.
Mm. Yeah, that's a temperamental person right there.
I mean, yeah. And this is actually the argument that I often use when people are complaining that that they got rid of the expanded universe in Star Wars. I'm like, no, they didn't. It's all still in
Mm.
print. They just call it Legends now.
Yeah, yeah.
And like there's the history of Billy Kid and there's the legend of Billy Kid, and they're both valid. And
hmm
frankly, the legend's a lot more fun.
oh yeah. Yeah. I mean that is the thing is that it is uh I guess the one historical figure that seems like her truth is getting more interesting than fiction would be Harriet Tubman,
Yeah.
you know? But it is rare when you find someone who can outlive their legend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and it's commonly a woman of color.
hmm yeah, well, it's usually people who didn't get enough respect in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, this is actually not a bad segue to know your station. So, Phil, this was your first read. What did you
It
think?
was. It's interesting because I am realizing Ted has shared his screen. I'm now seeing the art on in double page spreads. I read this on my phone, and I gotta say that was definitely not the move. If you have the chance to read this on a large screen, do that.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I mean, the story's powerful enough that it's not terrible to read it panel by panel, but
well, and that was
but
the problem
but but
is
you
that
miss out on a lot of Leanna Kangus's layout and design, and yeah.
yeah, and that was the problem is I wasn't reading it panel to panel. I was reading it zoomed out and then zooming in when I need to, when there was a bubble I
Um,
couldn't quite get. So it's literally there were details and elements of composition that were too compressed for me to appreciate, you know. Um,
um,
yeah, so I definitely
I
this
mean,
is
because I bring up the panel by panel because there are lots of Easter egg type things that wind up mattering a ton more later.
hmm
Um, I mean, like particularly like this room
yeah,
when you go through and like look at what's going on, it's like
uh-huh.
valuable to be able to zoom in and take a better look at the art on the walls.
hmm
Um, that sort of thing. So, yeah. So, I mean, one of my favorite things is um, finance staff members serve and support CFO Alberto Fairmilk. The nations of the world pooled their capital in an effort to save humanity. Alberto leveraged carceral resources to turn that funding into groundbreaking profit.
Mm.
Think about that sentence for a
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carceral resources.
Yeah. That's that was definitely another thing. I mean, which and right beneath that they have little for finance staff orientation, select diamond symbol. For all other staff
Right.
roles, select circle symbol. I
Right.
really loved a lot of the graphic design elements
Yeah.
in this. I felt like there were some really interesting applications. The first page seeing the editing process of a catchphrase I thought was a really interesting start to the book and the kind of thing that I don't think I'd seen that technique in comics before, and I think it worked really well in comic form. Um, but yeah, I this is going to be a book that I'm going to need to come back to. I'm going to need to reread again
Oh,
because
yeah, this is like already my
yeah,
sixth or seventh read.
well, and that's the thing.
And I
It's
see new things every time.
mhm.
I mean, again,
It
it was like the third time that the meaning of the word carceral
mhm,
sunk into me.
mm,
It's like the third read that I went, oh, wait, the richest dude here is the one that owns the prisons.
yep, yep, yep.
Fuck.
Yeah, that is and that was another element that I was going so fast that I know I missed a lot of those things.
Yeah.
This is a dense book. There's a lot of ideas packed into it, and it's also very subtle in that like even as I was reading it, I noticed which now Tad is on probably one of my favorite pages of the book where the main character sinks into bed with the blankets wrapping around them and a slight like distortion effect. I have felt that way rolling myself up into covers before, so I thought that was a really strong
Well,
play
and
page.
you weren't even going through withdrawal from a powerful drug
I wasn't
that your employer got you hooked on.
right, right. That yeah, that was probably another part that I didn't quite put together. That oh, this drug is coming from the employer.
Or at least from the employer's AI.
Yeah, yeah. Um, that for sure.
So here's a big question because like
Uh-huh.
the AI did definitely attain sentience,
Mm.
like which is something that like our current AIs are still like
Yes.
light years
Miles
away
away.
from
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
our current machine learning.
Yeah.
Um, but like didn't want its programmer to know that it had sentience. It made a
hmm
couple of friends,
hmm
started making art, was kind of pissed off at the art that it was asked to make. I thought that was
hmm
some great commentary on AI art.
Yeah.
They don't want to let me take credit for it, and they're always asking for dumb things. Put
Yep.
me in this picture.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's one of those, and I think that was another piece of it that, for anyone who hasn't heard me seethe with rage about AI before, I don't like it. I don't like it a lot. And to the point where in instances like this, when there's a book that contains a character that's an AI, it kind of it rubs me the wrong way, even when their views on AI align with my own in this. I don't think this book was a champion for AI in any way, shape, or form. It was
No,
definitely a
not at
cautionary
all.
tale that, hey,
I mean, as it turns out, they decided that this AI was okay,
uh-huh,
and decided to feed it more supplies for its artwork. But
right.
seeing as its supplies for its artwork is billionaires,
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean, this is where I go back to, like, I think no technology is inherently good or bad. It's all how you use it.
Yeah, it's difficult for me
He
to
says as he looks at the mobile of hanging
yes.
billionaires.
Yeah. And as I say, with a it is as difficult as it is for me to wholeheartedly agree with you about that in regards to AI. I at least acknowledge the
Well, and this is one
possibility
of the
for
reasons that
improvement.
I hate to say, I try to reject the word AI because that's a
That's fair.
marketing term, not what it is.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
it's used as a blanket to mean too many different things right now,
Agreed.
none of which are actually
No. And also
none of which their designers and programmers would describe as actual intelligence.
mhm,
They would
mhm.
describe them as tools.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest problems with AI right now is actually that too many people who use it don't understand that it's a tool.
Yep.
I mean, I honestly think, and I know that this is one of my most minority opinions, that there will come a time where good art is used using AI as a tool, but it will be using AI as more of a paintbrush than as a do all the work for me.
I think that's possible. It's one of those, again, it curls a certain part of my spine to admit that, but it's possible, you know?
It will
Um,
be like I was talking to a scientist friend of mine recently, and they use AI for editing,
mhm,
particularly when they need to get their abstract down in size.
mhm.
They're scientists, not writers. And like
Oh,
when they need to shave 180 words from a 380 word abstract because it needs to be a 200 word abstract,
mhm,
they know what they wanted to say. They don't necessarily know how to do that, but if they
mhm,
pump it into the right programs and say, take this and say the same thing in 200 words or less. And then they get to edit it. They get to go, no, I don't like that. No, they missed this. Or, again, they're using it strictly as an editing tool. And
mhm.
for that matter, I don't know if you ever went back and listened to Matt Fraction crashed
I did listen to that. Yes,
yeah.
I did go back and
I,
listen to that
I thought
because,
Fraction made some great points about how hilarious it was that the tech bros and
mhm.
like the C class people were so interested in AI because the way he saw it, it was actually their jobs that it knew how to do best.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
What wasn't gonna replace the measly writer, but it
Mhm.
would replace the executive that went, well, but a car chase would be good here.
The
But if
the
you wanted the car
uninformed,
chase to be good, you still needed a writer to weave
yes,
that car
yes.
chase
It
in.
turns it turns out AI can easily replace uninformed decision making, which is what
Right.
largely happens at the executive level. So,
Exactly.
so yes,
Or even informed decision making, but non-creative decision making.
right. I say this uninformed decision making is something that happens far too often at my day job.
Totally is, and like I don't want to take away from that, but
Yeah.
there are times where it is still informed decision making,
Hmm.
but it's informed with a different purpose than,
Right.
the writer was trying to write a great story, and the
Hmm.
executive is trying to make that story make money.
Yeah.
Now, if the executive just adds the thing that makes money, it generally winds up clunky and not making money. But
Hmm.
that doesn't mean that the thing that the executive wanted added couldn't have been added in a way,
Right.
you know.
You know,
Um,
it's, I guess it's just that the older I get, the and here's the thing. As a kid, I was already a decent amount, anti-commercial, uh, uh, sort of those sorts of things. And even now, it's one of those, I get offended. I get a little bit offended at someone saying, "Hey, do this, it'll make more money." And I just want to look at them and say, that's not the fucking point. We're
I
not trying to
mean,
make money here.
you're not,
No,
but the person paying you is.
exactly. And that's why nobody's paying me to do this yet. You know? I
Know what
still
I
remember,
mean?
I
So, I
forget
mean, I
who it
get where
was.
you're coming from, and I think that that's every artist's choice to make.
It is.
But like artists also want to like eat.
Right. And well, here's the thing.
Maybe have a house.
Right.
Some
And
of them like to have children.
I
All
would
of
like
these
people to have
things
children as
cost
well.
money.
Yes, I agree. I constantly struggle with the gap between the world I wish we had and the world we actually have, you know?
Right.
And so it's more of, I forget who it was, but there was a writer I saw recently that posted something. I would never do anything that was anti-commercial, or, like that they didn't think they would be able to sell for money. And part of me was just like, twisted up my face. And I'm like, okay, there's absolutely stuff that I
But
want to do that's anti-commercial. You know,
well,
there's
well,
there's
but you're also how do you
a
think he meant
hobbyist
it
at
when
this
he's
point.
well, but no, how do you think he meant it when he said anti-commercial?
Some like something that wouldn't make money, or wasn't designed to make money, or wouldn't appeal to people who wanted to buy it. That was kind
See,
of how I
see,
meant it.
see, that's not how I would define anti-commercial.
Okay. How would you define it?
I would define anti-commercial as I would never sell anything or never write anything that I didn't want people to read.
Oh, I see. That's an interesting, and if
Not
they meant it that way,
caring,
I definitely misunderstood it.
not being strictly commercial
Hmm.
doesn't mean you're anti-commercial.
Yeah, that's fair.
You know, there's a huge amount of space between the um uh uh
Everything must sell.
well, not even the everything must sell, but the corporate workshopped and put together boy group,
Hmm.
and the band that thinks that they've triumphed when they clear out the bar and never get invited back.
Ah, yes, the insect warfares of the world.
Right. You know what I mean?
I do, and that's
Um,
and that's I do see what you mean, and so I can understand. Like, I agree that yeah, no, my goal is not to get rejected by society, but there are definitely parts of society that don't appeal to
that
me, and
won't
that,
like your stuff,
yeah,
and that's okay, but that
oh yeah,
doesn't make it non-commercial. That just makes
that's
it
fair. Ted, thank
not
you for
necessarily optimized to commercial.
right. And that's, I just want to say thank you for that alternative interpretation, because I do think that makes a lot more sense.
Um,
And
well, and I think that's like, I don't want to put like words and fractions head or
Yeah.
anything like that, but like I could see a writer where like if they're writing Batman, they wouldn't
Hmm.
give a damn if their editor was using AI to give them ideas, and sometimes they'd dismiss them, and sometimes they'd use them, and like, they'd always try to write a great story, but they're writing Batman. That's DC's
Yeah.
book. And it's a completely different thing when they're writing sex criminals.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, and I guess it's also it's just one of those where
And that's also one of the places where, like, in general, when you're making movies, you're playing with other people's money.
yes, yes. And that is the kind of thing that is definitely one of the reasons why I've been, reconsidering my willingness to write work for hire work because, there are times where I might be amicable to, oh yeah, sure, I'll work in your, like you said, your chase scene in episode 2, whatever. And there might be times where if I know that, hey, your AI is making the suggestion that again, I don't want to be connected to it in the creative process.
But I mean,
it's
really,
still
what it comes down to is like if you make that decision where it's just
hmm
because the AI made the decision, not because you don't think it'll work,
hmm
are you making the best product?
so the two things. One,
Like if you can push back and say, no, I don't think that'll work, and this is
right,
why.
right.
That's a whole different ball game
It is.
from,
It is. And this is where, again, I recognize that a lot of this is, you know,
and
my
this
own
is this is
stuff.
this is where psychology is like a great baseball manager knows which players to like tell about statistics and which
Yeah.
players to coach using the statistics without
Uh-huh.
ever allowing them to know that you know the stats on something.
Yes, this is where I say that I recognize that I absolutely need editorial help, but I am also a challenge to be edited. Um,
Well, and
you
like
know,
most good writers are. I mean, that's
but it
like
and I
the
hear what
the
you're saying.
balance is like if you're a pain in the ass, you're not going to get work in
Yes, right,
any uh collaborative medium.
right.
But like most good artists at every level appreciate honest
Hmm.
feedback and pushback and whatever.
Oh yeah.
So, um, like if you're not a pain in the ass about it, being a challenge to be edited isn't a big deal, particularly
Hmm.
not if at the end of the day, if your editor decides to draw a line in the sand, you
Hmm.
understand that they're the boss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Or if they're an editor for hire, you can draw your line in the sand and they can go, well, I made my suggestion. And I mean, because with editors, it can go either way. A lot of people with independent projects will hire an editor.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then you're also their boss.
Yeah.
And I recommend not firing them, but
Yes.
you don't have the same requirement to take their advice as you would if you were working at like a DC or a Marvel
Exactly. Oddly
and
enough,
they were on one level your boss.
it's kind of like going to therapy by choice as opposed to state mandated.
There you go.
Um,
Uh,
oh yeah.
but it's 8:30, so let's
Oh.
talk about what will be spectacular next week. I've been looking forward to this one for a while. High Strangeness. It's a Daniel Noah and
I mean, it's Chris
Frodo
Condon, so I know
Baggins.
you're gonna love it.
For who's Frodo Baggins?
Frodo Baggins?
Yeah, Elijah Wood have a
Oh.
company called Spectre Vision that does like weird stuff, and this is their first foray into comics. And Chris
Oh,
Condon's getting to write the first issue with one of my favorite artists in the business right now, Dave Chisholm.
that's really
High
cool.
Strangeness #1. So I'm really looking forward to that. Death to Pachuco #1, Henry Barajas, Rachel Merrill is out from Image. I kickstarted this, so I'm hoping I see it this week. Um, and then so happy to see monthly Uncle Scrooge comics um, in like the more traditional style, because obviously Marvel's doing something right now too. And it's pretty good, but like these are with the historic numbering, or at least the number and the historic number
Hmm.
Back from Fantagraphics, Uncle Scrooge and Flintheart Glomgold's Sinister Secret from Francesco Artabani, Jonathan H. Gray, and Alessandro Perina are my big hopes to be spectacular. Some things that I've read and know are fantastic. Dark Empty Void, the collect edition is coming out this week. Physics for Cats, collection of science
Always
comics from
love,
Tom Gauld is
always love
coming
Tom
out this
Gauld.
week, right? And Witchcraft from Soleil Otero is coming up from Fantagraphics this week, as is Lost and Found,
Ooh,
which I haven't read yet, but I have my reader copy. So, like, I'll know by the
I
end. And Black Arms to Hold You Up from Ben Passmore, Pantheon, I read in advance of and is really, really good.
I am now writing down Witchcraft from uh, Soleil Otero because I remember when we read the solicits for that and it was incredible. Um, so
Well,
my handful,
we have in advance.
ooh, there we go. Um, so my Tradeware graphic novel picks. I've been keeping my eyes on Bug Wars from Jason Aaron and uh, Ma Mahmoud Asrar and Matt Wilson. Apologies if I
I mean,
mispronounced that.
I'm certain I'll read this at some point, but I read
Yeah,
like the first issue, and it's like the least a Jason Aaron book has ever grabbed me, and I don't know.
interesting.
I mean,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
I
and so
always like to make really, really clear that, like, I read so many comics that, like,
mhm,
me not liking it never means that it's not good.
right.
It could mean that I was tired when I got to it. It could mean that I
Yep.
was reading things too fast. It could
Yep.
mean any billion things.
Oh yeah.
But, like, it's the first time in a while that a Jason Aaron non-superhero book
Yeah. Well, this one,
um
I mean, it feels superhero-y, but yeah, not
wasn't well, okay,
yeah.
a non-licensed book,
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
would prefer.
It's okay.
First time in a while that a Jason Aaron non-licensed book wasn't among the things that, like, I kept reading month to month. I read that first issue and I'm like, I'm certain I'll revisit this, but never got around to the two, three, four because there's so many other comics and it didn't
Totally.
grab me enough to stay high enough on the list to get read.
Oh yeah. I mean, and here's the thing. I have been a little down on Jason Aaron for a while. It's been a while since I've read anything of his. I gave up on his Avengers run. It,
I mean, I loved um his apocalyptic love story.
and
What
that one
was that?
sounded really interesting. Once Upon a Time at the End of the World.
Yeah, Once
Yeah,
Upon a
that
Time at the End of the World was
it sounded
amazing.
interesting. Yeah, and I'll probably get around to that at some point too. But
Yeah.
it had been a minute since I had read anything of his that really grabbed me too. So that's why I'm like, okay, Bug Wars, that sounds like my kind of jam. I like bugs. I like weird stuff. This sounds like weird buggy stuff. So yeah, so I'm hoping it gets me back into a fan of his work because there's a lot of stuff of his that I've enjoyed a lot. And then 1 Billion Genies by Charles Soule and Ryan Brown, also from Image Comics. I love their Curse Words was great. God
Mhm.
Hates Astronauts is a staggering talent of hilarious obscenity. And yeah, I'm sure this is more fun from them. And then of course it is a week for the Power Fantasy number 12. The third arc kicks off. If you're not reading this book, what is wrong with you? You read a
I'm
lot of
behind.
comics.
I'm
You can be
behind.
behind. You can be behind. It's okay. I was behind at one point. I missed a couple issues and I had to catch up. So, it happens.
Dumping Witchcraft back into our
Oh,
folder.
well, there we go.
So you have access to it now.
Well, thank you kindly.
That's the 22 panels preview copy. I'm not even breaking
Of
any
course,
rules.
I am I
Well,
am a
I'm
22
saying that
panels
for
co-host.
anybody who's listening,
Yes.
not breaking any rules. It's the 22 panels preview copy.
Mhm.
Uh, so yeah, that's issue two or episode 204 in the books. Uh, So yeah, for Phil and myself, this has been 22 panels, and we will see you after the next page.